churches across nations is again declared open this morning. Can I tell you this? Hunger is far more devastating than virus. Hunger is far more devastating than any virus that will ever visit the earth. Hunger. One man had not eaten for 3 days. His spirit was gone. 1 Samuel 30, verse 11 and 12. They met an Egyptian who was sick and they left him behind. Gave him some food. The food finished, so he had not eaten for 3 days. They gave him bread and water. Then his spirit revived. It kills silently. There is no vaccine for hunger. There is no medical solution to hunger. Now we are doing vaccine and all that stuff. You can handle that with virus and plague, but no hunger. Hunger has no treatment than to have food. And spiritual famine is far more devastating. He said they shall fall and never rise. Come on now. That's what the devil is looking for. But he has failed. He has failed. The church is back on his feet. Anyone who had to see that dies for it. The church of Christ on the earth is liberated. Spiritual famine shall not have his way. Can I tell the world at this time, no one has the answer to a problem like Jesus. Come unto me, all ye that labor and are heavy laden, no matter your situation, and I will give you rest. Come and learn of me. Come and hear from me.
Bishop Oyedepo declares that church should be opened and state what will happen to anyone who go against the opening of the church. Despite the compulsory ban on religious and social activities due to the coronavirus pandemic, Bishop David Oyedepo, senior pastor of Living Faith Church, has declared the reopening of all churches nationwide. The famous clergyman who earlier called out the federal government of Nigeria for allowing markets to open while keeping churches shut down, has this morning declared that churches are now open and that anyone who is against it will die for it. Speaking at the church's headquarters in Ota, Ogun State, Oyedepo declared, the doors to churches across nations are again declared open this morning. Can I tell you this? Hunger is far more devastating than any virus that will ever visit the earth. It kills silently. There is no vaccine for hunger. There is no medical solution to hunger. Hunger has no treatment than to have food, and spiritual famine is far more devastating. This is what the devil is looking for, but he has failed. The church is back on its feet. Anyone who hates to see that dies for it. The church of Christ on earth is liberated. Spiritual famine shall not have its way. Can I tell the world, no one has the answer to a problem like Jesus, he said. So guys, that is just the video that we have watched. This thing has been trending and people have been asking questions. But the question I want to ask, I don't know, the closure of churches all over the world, is it only churches? No, every other places. Some people there, you can't compare churches with a whether club, or you compare churches with a hospitals or any other events center. The question now is that, does it mean that God is now against the directives of the government? Because according to what the Bible told us, that obey the law of the land, and for every well-meaning people at this point in time, nobody, I don't think there's anybody apart from Nigeria. I wouldn't know, I speak from Nigeria, but apart from Nigeria, pastors, they are the ones coming out to say, oh, this whole thing is because of the church. In the recent, have they ever called for closure of church or any whatever? This is something that we are saying, and I believe that everybody has said many things concerning this whole thing. It's just like we are trying to flog this whole thing over and over again, but You know, some people would tell you, oh, when did he say that? When did he say that? No, that was not what he said. Well, people are trying to misquote him. People are trying to twist the whole thing. Of course, we understand the context as to which he's speaking from. But in reality, we see what is happening. And I just believe that all of these things is not even necessary. Like I believe when you go to your closet, definitely when you speak the word, all of these things, something led to this. And if at all there is something the government, I'm sure it is not only in Nigeria. And this whole thing, and just like Pastor Chris said, that the government ought to have called them to discuss with them, deliberate with them, give them time to pray. But I believe that we had enough time. This whole closure or lockdown started in March, if I'm not mistaken, and we've been hearing this since January. We've been hearing this even when we had the index case. Everybody heard about it. So I think even without government calling anybody, because we heard what, those what has been happening in other countries that had highest cases then, like Italy. You talk about Wuhan in China. Everybody just believed it. I think the whole world even believed that it will never cross, or it will never leave China. But as all of a sudden it entered Europe, from Europe, it's escalated, and it was a different story altogether. That time, Nigerians and Nigerian pastors, they heard about this thing. I think that time we ought to have done the needful. Of course, if they had prayed enough, because a lot of people were even asking, yes, what about the prophecies, all the prophecies, they were delivered on the 31st of December 2019 to January 1st, and first week in January. Everybody prophecy, and nobody saw it. Even if nobody saw it, of course the Bible says that the secret things belong to God. Whether God did not reveal it to them, it's a different big entirely, but God had already made it known to us by it happening in all those other countries before it found its way in Nigeria. I could remember a lot of pastors were coming out. They say, oh, they wanted to go to China. Oh, who is that corona? Who is that this? Everybody was even making jest of them. That's one pastor said he was going to go to China to go and deliver those people. That who is corona? Who is this and this and that? And now, when we had the index case, everybody was like, oh, there's no need for those pastors who have been calling to go to, or asking to go to China, that the corona has already come, so there's no point wasting your fare or tickets. And before you knew it, like play, before then, at least when it entered, everybody saw it. They knew about it. People were people not praying about it? I don't understand this whole thing, because when Pastor Chris was saying, oh, they didn't give them chance, and accusing some people or some pastors of collecting money, and now we are hearing different things. Even at this time, the thing has even gone beyond everybody. It has gone. This is just I don't know what people want us to believe. This is a clear case. Before you know, some people come and tell you, oh, the spiritual things. What are the spiritual things? This is physical. This is physical things that we are seeing, that we need to take precaution. We need to take we need to be careful about all of this. You don't tell me that this and this and that. Well, he has said his own. I think it's not left for the government, if the government wants to reopen, because I know that this is not happening only in Nigeria. We need to be objective, and people have been hearing the word of God. I'm sure a lot of people did listen. A lot of churches now, a lot of denominations, they listen through online. This and how people have been honest. It's not as if people are not even hearing the word of God. I don't understand. People have been hearing. They've been preaching. Even as he was preaching, a lot of their members all over the world are hearing. They were hearing, or whether they're still hearing what he's saying. Nobody is losing out when it comes to the word of God. They are still doing this, and I don't know why this whole thing that the church must open and listen. If somebody close the church, does it mean somebody will now come and close my mouth, or close your mouth not to pray? If we go to the church, what are we going to do in the church? Is it not to pray? Okay, they lock the church now. Who is going to lock somebody's mouth? Nobody. Even if somebody locks your mouth with padlock, the person cannot close your heart, because you still pray within your heart, and God hears. So what are we talking about? I don't understand. If you guys understand this whole thing, maybe you can just let us say no. Someone says, has he now also become the general overseer of all churches? The man is a megalomaniac. And how does the the closure of church cause hunger to increase? Can you see this special reasoning there? The commons, the con man's sophistry. Hey, the closure of churches certainly will bite deeply into Mr. Oyedepo's extremely deep pockets, but it have a most salutary effect on members, as most of them will hold back their tithe, first fruit and seed sowing funds, and put them to a far more better use, such as caring for their family needs in a time of strait such as we currently have. And someone says, thank you, Daddy. Oyedepo, you have no power to go against government order. You will be arrested and prosecuted. Go to Port Harcourt and try it. Wike will not talk but arrest you. Wike, that one another person. And close down your church. Ask those VIPs who had policemen in their vehicles on Wednesday in Port Harcourt, flouting government order. Governor Wike arrested them, confiscated their vehicles and vowed to auction them according to the extant laws of the River State. Pastor's financial strength is collapsing, so he needs back his members to come donate for him. What a tragedy. What will this man gain from this? If not that I watched it, I would have said it's one of those fairy tales. See how the Bible is being quoted in isolation. Don't his Bible has the verse where it says that authority directives should be obeyed because they come from God? Is he going to give food to those that are hungry? Is he already a billionaire? I don't understand his problem with the tithe and offering. Members of Winners Chapel, see your greedy leader. He has hoodwinked all of you. Someone says, stop this nonsense. How many of the so-called declarations have come to pass? The gates of fair he decreed to be open for those who voted against Jonathan is still being expected to open. Fellow Nigerians, do not kill or bite the man of God. It will all be story very soon. God will help us over this temptation. Amen. Take or leave it. The church is the answers against devil's demonic plan against humanity. Okay. So guys, let us hear your opinion. Leave your comments below in the comment section. Thank you.